Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 2715A, and today's date is March 1st, 2022, and the title of the episode is The Economic Pieces Are Being Put into Place for the People's System. Let's talk about protecting your wealth. Now, The Economist financial newspaper has said the stock market lost over $1 trillion so far this year. You heard that right, $1 trillion. Facebook has fallen out of the top 10 tech stocks. All the markets have the jitters. Like you, people are worried, really worried, except those with gold and silver as their backup plan. They know with precious metals in their IRA, they'll be fine. Noble Gold has thousands of clients who have safely invested with them. Most heard an ad like this and call the experts, not a call center, but specialists who'll give you your options. And for the month of March, with any qualified IRA above $20,000, you'll get a 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin or a 5-ounce America the Beautiful silver coin for anything over $50,000. You know what to do. Call 877-646-5347 now to find out more, or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com, or click the link in the description. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the deep state, the corrupt politicians, the private Western Central Bank, they're being brought down the path again. Think about what happened before Trump was in office. They thought they were going to have this great war. They thought they were going to have this cover story. Then Trump became president, and he started to end the wars. He started to reverse everything they tried to do. Then what happened? They tried to raise the rates and bring the economy down. When all that failed, all they had left was the pandemic. And they used the pandemic, and remember George Soros out there saying, ooh, I think the stock market is overheating. It's time for it to pop. It's going to come down. And all of a sudden, during the beginning phase of the pandemic, we saw the market just plummet. And the fake news was out there telling everyone it's done. It's going to pop. It's going to crash. We are done. And then all of a sudden, nothing happened. Went down to something like 19,000 points and started to move back up again. And their whole entire plan fell apart. But what they thought they were going to do, they thought they were going to use that to bring us into the Great Reset. That was countered. Their plan failed. And each time it fails, the people see everything very, very clearly. And this is very important because in the beginning, when you mentioned the Great Reset, a new economic system, control of your currency, everyone said that's a conspiracy theory. Well, Trump, the Patriots, they actually forced them to make a move and actually announce the conspiracy theory, which was always truth, and people saw it all. And then Trump and the Patriots shut it down. They countered everything that they were trying to do. We never had a global economic shutdown for 10 years. The pandemic, it's just disappearing. And we don't have a war. And look what's happening now. We see an event out in Ukraine. They believe this is another opportunity to bring us into the Great Reset and make the move to bring in the Green New Deal. Wow, oil prices are moving up. This is going to be fantastic. The people are going to say, you know something, we need something different. But again, all of this is happening to show people the truth, to expose the deep state system, to expose the private Western Central Bank system. And once again, these individuals, they're going to fail. Now, think about what's happening already. They're already going down this path, the path the Patriots want them to go down. And they're doing exactly what the Patriots want. They know the playbook. They know they're going to place sanctions. They know they're going to push fake stories. They know they're going to push the Great Reset, the Green New Deal. They know they're going to be doing all these things. Tom Cotton put this out on Twitter. He said the following. Biden put a new pause on oil and gas leases in America the same day Russia invaded Ukraine. Biden is banning American energy production, but importing oil from Russia that is funding Putin's invasion. And down below in this tweet, there's a CNBC article, and it says, yes, Biden is pausing the new oil and gas leases, and he did it at the exact moment. Now, what's very interesting about all this is Jen Psaki. She was being questioned about all of this. Well, how come we're still importing oil from Russia if we're placing sanctions on Russia? And she kind of tripped over her own words, as she normally does. She might have to circle back a little bit later. But they can't explain why all of this is happening. And then we had PolitiFact. Well, they had to step into this and say, okay, we're going to fact check this. And don't worry, We're going to figure this all out for you so you understand why all of this is happening. Britt Hume pointed out something very interesting. And he said someone needed to fact check this fact check. So this is what PolitiFact put out there. The U.S. did not double oil imports from Russia in the last year. If you go down and you read a little bit further down, it says the U.S. did double the amount of crude oil imported from Russia last year. That is very interesting. So which is it? Who did the fact checking? Did the U.S. import a lot more oil from Russia? If it was just an easy answer like no, then Jen Psaki wouldn't have a problem. Now, remember, Biden, he can end all of this. Trump, he had the country energy independent. Biden has been shutting down all of it and making us no longer energy independent. And now we have to import the oil. But again, this is part of their Green New Deal. And they're trying to use this to bring us to where they want us to go. We had the World Bank out there, and we mentioned this yesterday. But they said, listen, hey, there are alternatives to Russian gas, and they'll be ready in 5 years. Well, what about today? You see, this is the problem. There is nothing ready for today, and even if they did have something ready today, it's not going to work. There is countless studies showing that the amount of energy that we need, we cannot get this from wind and sun without using any type of fuel, coal, or anything like that. Let's talk about protecting your wealth. If you watch regularly, you'll know that Noble Gold is one of our sponsors. They now have thousands of clients who found the secret of gold and silver for their retirement plans here. And for the month of March, with any qualified IRA above $20,000, you'll get a 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin or a 5-ounce America the Beautiful silver coin for anything over $50,000. You know what to do. Call 877-646-5347. That is 877-646-5347. Or go to noblegoldinvestments.com or click the link in the description. And plus, they have nothing ready to go. They're telling us in 5 years. So we have the problem right now. See, and this is where this is very important because Trump, the Patriots, they knew they didn't have anything. They knew that the people were going to see this very clearly. And if the people say, hey, listen, okay, we get it. Oil prices are going up. It's too expensive. What do we do? How can we switch right now? They're going to say, we have nothing. Then the people are going to say, well, wait a minute. You have nothing right now? We have to wait 5 years for this? So how high are fuel prices going to go? Well, they might go to $15, $20, $25. See, then the people are going to say, well, wait a minute. That's just ridiculous. How are we going to live? Because it's not just me filling up my car at the fuel pump. It's going to be deliveries. It's going to be flights. It's going to be everything. Everything is affected. So shouldn't we right now go ahead and reinstate the leases? Shouldn't we go ahead and reinstate the Keystone Pipeline just temporarily, at least temporarily, so we can get through this mess? You see, they don't want to do that. And this is going to expose them like we've never seen before because they can't bring us anywhere. They're not prepared. They're not ready. Remember, when Trump went into the White House, he destroyed their entire plan. Yes, their plan is to bring us into the Great Reset. Yes, their plan is to bring us into the Green New Deal. But they were hoping they were going to pave the way during this period of time. They had everything set up. They had everything in place. He removed it all. He removed us from the Paris Climate Accord. He removed everything. They needed the U.S., the money from the people, actually. That's what they needed. And they didn't get it. So now they're trapped. You see how he set this trap for them? There's no place for them to hide. There's no explanations that's going to work. They're completely exposed to everything. Even when they're shutting down people's accounts, they can't hide behind anything. Why do you think Canada had to back off so quickly? Now people are seeing what's happening out in Russia. People are saying, well, wait a minute. PayPal, for ordinary people in Russia, you're stopping them from using it? Now MasterCard and Visa, they're saying the same exact thing, that people there will not be able to use this? Can you imagine if this happened here in the United States where the people weren't allowed to use MasterCard, Visa, pay? Oh, wait, it already is happening to certain people. Think of MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell, many other people that got banned from PayPal, from Venmo. Think about what happened out in Canada. This is not an isolated incident. This is showing you what type of control they actually really have. And this should scare every single person because they want to take that, multiply it by 100. have the central bank system control the central bank digital currency and monitor your behavior throughout your lifetime. And if they don't like what they see, they shut you down. Now, I do believe that Trump and the Patriots, they knew that this was their plan. And for people to believe it, what did you have to do? You have to experience it. You just can't tell people because it sounds too outrageous. Actually, if you listen to Trump in the CPAC when he was giving some speeches, and he said something about James Patterson, he says, if this was fiction, it wouldn't even be a story for James Patterson because this is so far-fetched. Everything that we're seeing and witnessing today is so far-fetched that it's very difficult for people to wrap their brains around it. This is why sometimes you need to see it firsthand. Now, while all of this is going on, I do believe that Trump and the Patriots, they've been putting all the pieces together and allowing the deep state, the central bank system, to do what they do best. Go through the motions, do exactly what they plan to do, and while they're doing this, they're destroying their own system. Now, Forecast 432 put this out on Telegram and said the following. One of the main reasons the U.S. dollar is the ultimate reserve currency is because the majority of commodity markets are globally denominated in U.S. dollars. Well, if most commodity producers join forces with Putin, as we are now seeing, and trade outside the dollar while funding operations via gold-backed collateral, i.e. gold swaps instead of a repo, gold is useful when you don't have reserve currency status. They have a legitimate chance of decentralizing sanction power away from the old guard. Saudi Arabia is the biggest OPEC player, 33% of OPEC production. Here's where they stand. OPEC plus pact to continue regardless of challenges. And if you really look at this and you see that Saudi Arabia is still standing with Putin, the leaders of the gold nations, the commodity nations, they're sticking together. And I do believe this is to put pressure on the private Western Central Bank and to bring them down the path of destruction. Because you have to remember, the deep state players, the private Western Central Bank, they believe everything that they're doing is going to work. It's going to bring us into the Great Reset, the Green New Deal. The people are going to say, yes, we need some other type of energy. We need to change the system. It is not working. It's crashing. It's imploding. Think about their plan from the very, very beginning. They were going to have war to bring us into their new system. No one would argue with them. They tried the pandemic. It didn't work. They were going to have a global economic shutdown and the economy was going to be destroyed. Nobody was going to argue with them. Now they're trying to use Ukraine. So think about all these things that they have done. None of it has worked. All of them have been countered and the people see it all. Now they're trying to use Ukraine. The Patriots, they want them to do this. They want them to go down this path. This will expose everything that they're doing, and the people will see the truth. No one's going to wait 5 years for some type of green system to come online while fuel prices are skyrocketing, where you can't make ends meet, especially when the currency starts to fall apart when they remove Russia from the SWIFT system and these countries decide, you know something, we'll be able to trade amongst ourselves, or if they decide to go with another alternative currency. Yes, gold is an alternative currency. Yes, cryptocurrency is an alternative currency. And once they decide to do that, it's going to be game over for the private Western Central Bank. They will be struggling to keep everything together. And the people will see all of this completely play out right in front of them, and they will know who is responsible. This is what the Patriots are doing. They're bringing us into a people's system, an economic system that is controlled by we the people, no longer the private Western Central Bank. The days of the globalists, the days of the private Western Central Bank, those days are over. And we're in the process of destroying their entire system. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.